In part two of our special interview with Germany legend Moritz Fuerste, he talks about the best players he played both with and against in his career, and also his memories of Rio 2016 when Germany produced an incredible comeback against New Zealand. Over the course of your career, you've played against the very best in the world, some of the best players that have ever played the game. I'm just wondering who might be the toughest that you ever faced. I mean, if you have a top three in mind.
I mean, I started my career playing against Turn and Jamie, like literally, because they were both playing right midfield. So I was playing left. And we man marked. So for the first couple of years of my career, when we played them, I had to mark them, and that was the toughest school I could have gone through. Later, I really had big fights with Eddie Ockenden from Australia in midfield. Also with Simon Orchard from time to time, but I would probably go with Eddie in that meaning, because he could just eliminate, and that was the most difficult thing if you man marked when someone was really good in eliminating you, because then you were the guy who had to chase because everyone else was also man marking. So yeah, and he had that skill, especially with his stupid forehand drag that got me crazy. And I knew it was coming, but you could see it was coming. You knew he's doing it, but he still caught me so many times. Yeah, and then it's interesting because at one point, in a way, it shifted because I felt that it was easier for me to defend then, because the players started to not really attack me anymore in a way, because probably they were playing a little bit more around, because word got through that I might be also a decent player. So I really felt that I had probably not even 50% of the defensive one-on-one situations after, let's say, 2011, because people were rather going around passing, so I had to run more, but not defend so much in a one-on-one situation anymore. So that's why then the picture got changed a little bit. But I mean, Jamie, Tön, Eddie, yeah, I think these are the toughest opponent I played against in midfield.
And who would you say would be maybe the top three of the best players you've actually played with? Both whether it was for club or international hockey. I mean, you played with some incredible players. What are your thoughts on that?
The best player I've played with, there are obviously also, I could name a few, but I would focus and start with Christopher Zeller, no doubt about it. He is probably he was a machine. He could decide matches by himself on any given day, and for his talent, he could have won World Player probably 10 years in a row. He should have won it in 2006 when he basically won the World Cup in Mönchengladbach by himself. He won the Junior Award that year, but he should have won the World Player Award. Playing with him you could always get the ball to him. He was so physical. His corner was exceptional, and he was just so delightful as a midfielder to look at him. And whenever he was open, you would give the ball to him, just like a go-to guy in basketball. Toby Hauke is right up there, and I could always count on Toby on playing the best hockey that he possibly can when it counted, and that is very unique because there are so many amazing players in the world, but being on their very best game whenever it counted, not many players can say that about themselves, and Toby can. So he is just up there. And then I would go, the third I want to mention really is Billy, because I played with him in India for 2 seasons, and that was the first time I experienced the Dutch style of playing in a way. So I played a forward that season that we won the tournament there, and the Hockey India League in 2017, and you could just give him the ball and he would be able to do this give and go kind of thing in the top speed, and he would always try to still put the ball to you, only a 2-meter pass, and then get it back. And that kind of offensive knowledge and being smart on the ball, that really impressed me, and it was a lot of fun playing with Billy on and off the pitch, and that was one of the big parts of the success story in that year.
So my final question goes back to the Rio 2016 Olympics when you played New Zealand in that epic quarter-final match. You were 2-1 down with about a minute to go, and you ended up winning 3-2. Florian Fuchs scored a last-second winner. I'd love to know your memories about that, and yeah, where it stands in terms of the greatest comebacks of your career.
I think it was one of the biggest comebacks in Olympic sport. 5 minutes before the end, I was benched for a few minutes, talking to the coach, and we got the goalkeeper, like the playing goalkeeper Martin Heiner, in, and I was going back on the pitch, looking at the clock. It was 4:51 left, and I was just saying to myself, this can't be the end of my career. That it cannot be over now. That's impossible. That's not the story how it's supposed to end. I stepped back on the pitch. We got this corner. I think Christopher Rue even got 3 corners by himself during that time. Then we scored the first one, 2-1. We went back at it. We missed a couple more corners. Then when there was the 2-2, and we were all preparing for the shootouts. I mean, even our coach, I don't know if you remember that scene in the highlights, but he's already writing down names like on his clipboard and wasn't even watching. He didn't see the goal. So, and then we had this last counterattack, and I got to be 100% honest with you, it was not well done. In that moment, no offense, New Zealand, but it was just not a good defense. And that's how the ball went in. And they should have tackled Florian and smacked the whatever out of him before the 25 to not get a corner, but just to free it and a yellow card or whatever. But I mean, we were lucky in the end. But it wasn't well played. It was rather not so good defended at that moment. And I really don't want to offend my New Zealand friends, but I think in a few years they will also see it that way.
It was certainly dramatic.
That's for sure. And I love watching the highlight clip. I watched it 1 million times. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. Don't forget that you can keep up with all the latest hockey news on www.fih.ch, and also you can download the FIH app, watch.hockey.